Welcome back, guys, to another episode of the At Home Amateur Model Railway. So today you will be joining me out in my front yard in beautiful sunny Queensland, and we are going to take the laser cut train decorations that I got given through work, and we're finally going to get around to cleaning them up, priming them and painting them. So as you'll see out here, I've got my trusty grinder out in the background there. So I've got my 4 models laid out on a nice piece of cardboard out in a nicely well ventilated area, and we're out in the sun so that hopefully we can get this dried pretty quick. Over in the background there you'll also see the materials that I will be using to complete this project. I've taken photos of those along with colour codes and what they are, so that will be later on in the video, so you can get a description of the colours and what I've used. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take that grinder, I'm going to clean up any of the rusty spots and any of the laser scale that's been left behind from when they were laser cut, and then we'll get around to cleaning them up and priming and painting. So let's go for it. So I'll just bring this one around. So as you can see through here, it hasn't quite cut through very cleanly. There's still a couple of windows intact, and some bubbles from where it hasn't quite cut through properly. So I'm just going to take the grinder, I'll take these bubbles off, these windows will pop out, and we'll end up with a nice flat clean locomotive. So let's go. So I am going to do this in a little bit of a mixed matched order. I'm going to clean up my first one and I'm going to start putting some edge prime on. So as that's drying, I'll go through, I'll clean the others up, prime them and then put the top coat on, just to try and increase the drying time, so we're not having to wait as long in between coats, and try and just make the process of painting and cleaning these up a little bit quicker. So all I'm doing here is just using a grey edge primer to prime the steel before we put our top coat on. Nice light dust coat. Just making sure that our top coat of paint does stick to the metal. And on a hot day, I can already see that the paint is flashing off quite quickly, so it's a good day to be out here and doing it. There is a nice light breeze. And also being mindful of the direction of the wind, as we do have cars out of screenshots. So that's side one done. We'll leave that to dry in the sun. I'll go back to cleaning up on some of the other ones and repeat the process. So I've gone through now. I've just given these a lick with the sanding pad on the grinder, gotten rid of all of that laser scale, any of the loose rust. This one was quite heavily rusted, so this is all nice and smooth and rust free now, and the first couple have also got the first coat of primer on. What I did forget to mention in my last step is that in between priming, I'm also giving them a quick wipe down with some acetone cleaner, just to make sure that there's no oil or residue from the manufacturing processes on these materials, and to give the primer and the paint a better chance to adhere. So we'll go through now, we'll give them a wipe down, and we'll apply the primer to those as well. So to clean these, I'm just using the acetone solvent and a microfiber cloth. Just a quick dab and a light rub. Again, acetone, it flashes off quite quickly, But you can also feel in the rag, if you've used acetone before, that it is quite a cool solvent, and you can feel that in the rag but as it evaporates out. So now that our next two have been cleaned, we'll apply our primer. While we're waiting for that primer to dry, I thought I'd give you a quick look at the colours that I've chosen to do these models in. So this is a leftover tin of white that I had from Super Cheap. So it's just a gloss white. So we'll be doing the high-speed electric train in white to represent the bullet train from Japan. One of the steam locos will be done in a gloss heritage green. The diesel locomotive will be done in a gloss yellow. I'm going for the Union Pacific look with that one. And last but not least, we're going to do the other steam locomotive in gloss red. These are the colours that came off the fiddly bits ones of the shelf, came off the shelf at Bunnings. I did think of doing one of the steam locomotives in satin black, which I do actually have inside, but I wanted to go with a little bit of a pop of colour to add to the room rather than just plain black, so I decided today I'd go with the gloss red. So we'll see how these look once we apply them, and hopefully we'll add a bit of a pop of colour to the room. Alrighty, so once you've got your primer coat on, just ensure, don't handle it too much, just make sure that you do have a nice even coverage on all your surfaces. Again, avoid trying to handle it too much with fingers, because obviously your fingers will contain oil and disrupt the final coat. So I'm not going to play around with that too much, but they are now all touch dry, so I will go through and start putting on top coat colours. And here we have the master paint shaker. So this is behind the scenes, and he's shaking all the tins of paint up for me. Shake, 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 buddy.
And why can't I try?
Okay, so I've had to move these into the workshop. Probably should have started in here in the first place, but I was looking to make use of the hot afternoon Queensland sun. So these have all had 2 coats of paint now, so I'm going to leave these in here overnight. Unfortunately, as you can see, some of the grass has kicked up, so that's a lesson learnt for next time. So I'm just going to let these dry out, and with any luck I might just be able to get those off without damaging the paint too much. But after 2 coats, I'm quite impressed. These really have certainly popped up. So I'll let them dry overnight. We'll amend the grass in the paint, and then we can roll these over again tomorrow and apply the 2 coats to the back side. Welcome back everyone to day 2 of the train panel project outside here in sunny Queensland. As you can see behind me, the sun is beating down. It's just about to go midday, and it is a very sultry 27-28 degrees out here. So I'll flip this camera around from where we kicked off yesterday. So I took these inside last night once the wind picked up, and we moved back into the shed. So they've had overnight to dry now, and they've come up pretty good. So you would have seen, as I mentioned yesterday, that I did have a few problems with the grass flicking up in the breeze. The only one that's really sort of suffered is this one here, in through here with a little bit of grass in the paintwork. I don't really want to upset the paintwork too much to get it out. The benefit of painting both sides of these will be that that they can be viewed bidirectionally. So we will just simply roll it over. So that's what we're going to do out here today, is we're going to roll all of these over, we're going to paint the back sides, and hopefully by this afternoon out in this blazing sun that we shall have something to put into the train room. It's an absolute belter of a day out here. As you can see, I haven't really done too much, but I am covered in sweat. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pop inside for a cold beer and a little bit of lunch. I'm going to leave these out in the sun to dry. So as you would have seen, I've put my 2 coats back on. I've also put a few of the rocks out of the garden bed under it, because as you would have seen, the painted sides have actually stuck to where we were painting yesterday. So I've just propped them up just a little bit to keep that flat surface on surface from sticking, and hopefully I haven't got too much paint or cardboard residue already on the painted side from last night. So again, that's a lesson learned for next time. The reason I did try and lay them flat was so that we didn't get any run marks in it, because as you did see, that I was painting the paint fairly heavily on to give it a nice thick coat. So what we'll do, I'll leave these to bake out in the sun for an hour or so. We'll roll them over. Once they're a little bit dry, we'll come out and check to see if they're dry. We'll roll them over and see what the damage is. Welcome back to the final instalment of this video. We are now back inside the at-home Aluminium Model Railway train room, and the pieces have dried and I've put them up. Let's have a look. So we have them up now that the paint is dry, and I do think that this adds a rather nice pop of colour again to the train room. Unfortunately, that one down there will have to stay. It is a little bit too high to be put above the window frame, so it will sit in the window box instead, right in front of my desk. But I do certainly think that these pieces certainly add some colour and some character to the room. So if you haven't already, like and subscribe to the channel, and again, thanks for watching. Cheers guys, till next time.